So today I have experienced the reoccurring theme of the pain associated with a concept called self-care. Being a man my whole life, there's lots of psychological elements to being a woman that have been a surprise to me. One of them is I feel guilty for working on self-care, or it seems selfish to take care of myself, or what does it even mean? As I've learned about women, their default tendency is to think about the needs of others and care for them, all the way to the point of self-sacrifice, and then they find themselves out of gas, burned out. Even if they're in a physical injury and they find themselves in a hospital, laying in a hospital bed, there's some kind of a discomfort with having the attention on them to help them recover. As I was pondering this and trying to get to understand what was going on in their minds more, I've come up with a term that I don't like yet because it's not really elegant, but it seems to make it easier to talk about what's actually going on. After many interviews with women, I have come to the realization that it really is part of their deep core instinct to nurture, to give, to add value. Not saying anything about whether or not that's true in men, but specifically for women, they just want to provide nourishment, psychological, emotional, etc. And then it occurred to me that that is very much likened to a plant. A plant's natural desire, if you want to call it that, is not just to be there. It's not to be pampered. It's not to have all the attention on it. Whether it's a bean or peas or corn or anything like that, the greatest fulfillment of its desire is to give what it is best at giving. And so as I've thought about women, the desire to give is equally strong. But you can't give if you're depleted. You can't give if you're exhausted. You can't give if you're damaged or hurt. And so we men who are of farmer instinct type, we don't have to have it explained to us that if you want your plants that you work to farm to yield the best harvest, you don't go pulling more off of them. You take care of them. You take good care of them. You study them. You study what is the most nutrient focused approach to a potato plant. I'm from Idaho. Let's talk potatoes, sugar beets. What kind of protection do they need so they can thrive at their best? Nutrients, how much water, sun. And so self-care, I invite you to not think about it as self-care. I invite you to think about it as plant care. You are a living organism. You are a living organism that must be strong and healthy to give your best. Yes, a potato plant that is significantly depleted can give some potatoes. There's lots of things that plants can give, but sometimes they really are so depleted that they cannot give anymore. Husbands, you may feel no sense of obligation or even desire to participate in that. This thing that those girls call boundaries and self-care, etc., they are confusing sometimes. They don't make sense. They seem selfish. But any intelligent farmer thinks of the boundaries that his plants need to function at their best. This plant needs to make sure no kids on four-wheelers going plowing through the field. We build greenhouses. We build shelters for our plants. And so we men have no problem at all building structures that provide safety for our plants, and we have no problem at all spending hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars on research and studies and experiments to learn how to do it best for this plant as compared to this plant, as compared to this plant. And so women may seem mysterious, but they're really not that mysterious. It's not that hard to figure out. If I do this, it hurts her. If I do this, she feels protected. You just watch. If they go like this, that means it hurt. If they go like this, it means it was good. Okay, it's not really that hard to figure out. And so it's when we get our own agenda in the way that mixes up the problem. Like, well, I wanted you to respond like this, or I wanted you to do that, or this is what I wanted. I wanted to harvest corn today, and you're not acting like you're going to give me any. Well, you can talk to a plant all day long. I want corn. It just stands there. So, ladies, when it comes to your participation in self-care, please stop thinking of it as something selfish. You're just making sure that you can maximize what you have to give. So if another person, including your spouse, is not ready to participate in a safe environment for you, then you have to create a safe environment for yourself. If a person in your relationship is not in a position to bring warmth, sunlight, moisture, water, nutrients, then you gather them for yourself. Yes, this can compromise the maximizing of the yield if you have to spend energy in self-protection, if you have to spend energy in gathering resources, it will deplete some of what you can give. And so for those of you who want to debate whether or not the best program is when the husband provides, protects so that she can focus on nurturing, yeah, when you're trying to work as a team, when having a good, healthy division of labor, that is how it works best. If a woman has to spend a lot of energy on her own protection, she will have less energy for producing sweetness, kindness, pleasantness, adorableness. Many guys don't know this, but women actually do prefer to be adorable. I know that sounds weird. And if a woman is not being adorable, that means she's depleted. That means she's having to work too much on her own safety and self-nurturing. And so please, don't be weird about self-care. Write it down. I need the following things to have my plant be safe. I need the following things for it to be nurtured. Ask around you, are you in a position to offer this? Are you in a position to provide this? If you're stuck by doing it yourself, you do it yourself and you yield the harvest that you can.